Welcome back to AM Northwest. It's a raw look at the highs and lows of life among the first generation of digital natives. Filmed over the course of one school year, the new docuseries Social Studies follows a diverse group of teens who open their lives and phones to show how social media has reshaped childhood.
I've posted like pictures, photography pictures that I've taken, even like sunset pictures. Those get 0 likes, and so it's like, why even post that? My name is Sydney, and I'm a freshman at the University of Arizona. When I was in high school at Pali, I would post pictures that were just not normal to post for being a minor, but that's what you see online and on TV and everywhere, and that's what's marketed. Social media is more about looking good and appealing to what other people like.
Here to share more about this groundbreaking docuseries, we welcome award-winning filmmaker Lauren Greenfield. Lauren, incredible work here. Who inspired this, or what inspired this, and how did you get those kids to open up their phones to you?
I think in terms of what inspired me, I was a mother of 2 boys when I began this, 14 and 20, and saw that the 14-year-old was hugely impacted by social media in a way that the 20-year-old, who was a reader, who was kind of, it wasn't as important a part of his life. And so I just thought, having looked at media and how it affects youth culture over the last 30 years, I need to look at this new media. And that actually, as parents, we never see what's going on in these phones. We just see our kid kind of looking down. So I wanted to figure out a way to actually capture what was in the phone, and found a group of amazing teenagers in Los Angeles from very different backgrounds, not just socioeconomically, but also in terms of their relationship to social media. And they very generously and bravely allowed me to screen capture what was happening in their phones while we were filming over the course of a year. And I think we learned so much, and I think they did it especially with a kind of sense of purpose about our needing to know.
I have to say, all I could think was, thank goodness it wasn't around when I was a kid. Because it's got to be so hard to be a teenager now.
And you would be surprised, almost all the teenagers said the same thing, that they would rather live in the generation of their parents before social media if they had the choice. But they also acknowledge that it is part of every aspect of life. Jonathan, one of the kids, says, it's our lifeline, but it's also a loaded gun.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's powerful. Parents would be shocked if they looked at their kids' social media, wouldn't they?
I think parents will be shocked when they see this series, which shows them what's going on. And I think kids, I think it's going to be very familiar to kids. I think kids are going to feel seen rather than feeling shocked. And I think that's what I really hope to achieve in this series, is for parents to get educated, but also to start talking with their kids about what they're watching, how it's affecting them. And to facilitate that, we've actually made a parent guide and an educational curriculum for teachers. Because I think kids really want and need a place to process what they're navigating in this other world.
We see in the docuseries not only young girls exposing themselves, which is so stressful for me to see, but young kids thinking this is the only way to make money. This is, you know, if I want to be a Kardashian, if I want to make money, this is the tool to use.
And it's not just money, it's also how to find fame, how to find popularity, which we know has always been important for teenagers. This is the new popularity. But now having your little friend group is not enough. You need to be popular at a bigger stage. They all want to go viral. And even Marin, one of the kids, said, look at Kim Kardashian went viral from a sex tape. That could be great for me too. We see Sydney, who you just showed, showing provocative pictures of herself online, sexy pictures, which I saw with my son's feeds is so common among girls that age. And that was a way to get popular. And I think what we need to remember when we see this series, what was really important to me to convey, is these are not the stories of a small group of teenagers.
No.
all of the kids are really going through this, and the commonality of experience really comes through in the show. We have these group discussions where they have a chance to either do a silent clap to say, I relate to what you're saying, or tell their similar story, and there was so much of that.
What did you learn that surprised you, that took you just completely by surprise?
I was surprised at how similarly the social media was affecting kids who were so different. In 2006, I made a film about eating disorders called Thin, and at that time, 1 in 7 girls were suffering from an eating disorder. When I started this, one girl said, half my friends have eating disorders from TikTok, and the other half are lying. There would be questions I would ask, like who's struggling with an eating disorder or disordered eating? All the hands would go up. I would say, who has been sent a nude or received a nude? All hands went up except for one. Where did you learn about sex? A lot of kids shared pornography. There were things that were shocking, but actually were so commonly experienced. And I think that is the shocker. And also the way they weren't really sharing stuff with parents or teachers. We even meet a vigilante student who's helping kids he sees who are victims of either racism or sexual assault because he doesn't see the authorities stepping in. We see another kid, Jonathan, working a teen hotline, helping other teenagers in crisis. It was like teenagers are stepping up to help other teenagers because they see these problems that the adult world is not addressing adequately.
How should the adult world address it?
That's a really good question. I think that, we're seeing a lot of movements now to take phones out of schools.
Right.
I think that kind of collective action is great. We're seeing the Surgeon General recommending an advisory about mental health with social media. I think that's the kind of thing that's really going to make parents think about whether it's appropriate for their kid at whatever age, 13, that you're allowed to, which is not even checked. I think the social media companies have to take responsibility too, and we need to hold them to account for designing platforms that are intended to be addictive.
Yeah.
And also that take them kind of by the hand to show them things that we don't want to show them or that we know are bad for them. And I think that, all of these things together can start creating a safer world.
Absolutely. We want to tell our viewers Social Studies premieres this Friday at 10 p.m. on FX. Lauren, thank you so much for what you're doing. Great work.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.